What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video I'm actually pretty excited to talk to you about a brand new release that was sent over to me by the brand, but of course that never has any effects or bearings on what I'm going to say or think about the fragrance. But I am pretty excited to talk about Gisada Titanium because I've been quite the fan, especially of the original Ambassador. Really enjoy Intense. The original Ambassador is just like, it's just so good to me. I'm quite a fan. The wife's a big fan, so I was eager to check this out. I mean, it's a fingerprint magnet of a bottle, which we'll look at in a second, but this one's worth talking about. So let's discuss it, shall we? Stay tuned. So first and foremost, like I said, I do want to show you guys the bottle. It is a fingerprint magnet. That is the negative that I will say with it, as you can see. You know, it's chrome mirror reflective. It looks really cool when cleaned by Gisada Switzerland on the top with their logo. Does have their usual magnetic cap and really good atomizer. That does the trick, but man, let's get into talking about this scent. So when this opens, I get reminded of a few different styles of fragrances, but the biggest hit I get right away is a beautiful powdery iris that I get the whole life of the fragrance. Anybody that's familiar with me and my taste, iris, my favorite note in perfumery, big fan. Kind of in the realm of things like Le Male Le Parfums type of powdery iris, warm and spicy, a little bit of Reflection Man's elegance and masculine appeal for florals, and then a bunch of pink pepper that gives me this kind of sweet aromatic pop that blends just very well, I find, with this cardamom note that's in here. There's a little bit of a light green feel, but nothing I would call really herbal. And then as it starts to settle in, it becomes a little bit more metallic and creamy on my skin, and that's where the iris really starts to shine and take hold. There's even a soft, little like brown, supple leather type of tone to this one. I believe leather is in the notes as well, if I remember correctly, but it's a very supple and soft type of leather accord. Think luxurious leather goods, for example, purses, wallets, belts, things like that. That, you know, brand new quality designer leather smell, that is kind of, and it's just a little light touch of it. This is so beautiful. Now, I wouldn't call it a milky, creamy type of scent, but because of the dry, powdery nature mixing with this metallic tone, it doesn't give that moistened type of sweetness. It's a dried sweetness. I know that may sound a little strange, but when you mix all the powdery notes in here, tonka and such, it really comes across as a beautiful and elegant fragrance for men that I think women can very much enjoy as well. The spices and leather and such give it the masculine feel, but then you have the powdery nuances and the florals that kind of bring it back into the unisex territory that I really think anybody can enjoy this fragrance. I think they've got a hit right here. Ambassador and Ambassador Intense were hits for them. And I think this one's going to be probably the biggest hit of the three, because this one speaks to pretty much anybody that likes a beautiful powdery fragrance is going to like this. And the biggest kicker for me is when you mix in the spices with it as well. That always is a quick way to capture my heart, is spices and iris. I'm just a sucker for that kind of stuff, and it's blended almost to perfection here. Now, when we get into performance, this one very much kind of surprised me. Now, I get great performance out of both the Ambassador fragrances. I keep referencing them because that's my two favorites from the brand, and it's got the same bottle. Though it smells nothing like either of those. I don't even know if it's technically, even though it has the same bottle, I don't think it's in the same line. But point being, with this one, the longevity was about what I expected. It kind of fell in that 8 to 10 hour range, more so in that 9 to 10 hour range. I mean, I clocked it at 10 hours before I took a shower. Let's just call it what it is here. But got to give it a range within 2 hours for you guys of kind of what to anticipate. Obviously, everybody's olfactive perception with their nose and skin chemistry is going to be different. But for me, solid 10 hours. The projection was the biggest surprise for me because this stuff's stout. It's a strong fragrance. Be mindful with it being powdery and sweet like this. I would say that it's easy to be very cloying. It's full of aromatics, especially a lot of pink pepper. Give it this bright aromatic feel. I would be mindful when spraying this. When you heavy sprayers, you might choke yourself out because this is in the moderate to heavy range for every bit of 2 to 3 hours. This stuff is quite potent from what I've experienced so far, so well beyond arm's reach. That's why I call it in the moderate to heavy range. I'm not going to sit here and say it's a room filler, but if you start dialing sprays up, you're filling the room easily. And then the sillage here is in that moderate range where it constantly reminds me it's there. My nose doesn't seem to wear out to this one easily, which can be a great thing and can be obnoxious if you overspray it too much and overwhelm yourself. You're going to be, if your nose is anything like mine with this, you're going to live in it for hours and hours and hours, and it might just be too much if you overspray it. So in my opinion, less is more with this fragrance because of the potency and the longevity of it. But across the board, I mean, this stuff's pretty beastly. Final thoughts on Gisada Titanium. I think this is a great fragrance, bordering the outstanding, dare I say. While it does remind me of several different things, it doesn't remind me of one specific fragrance. It kind of takes elements of this, that, and the other, which are all many favorites of mine. If you like fragrances like Le Male Parfum, Reflection Man, Pegasus, even a little touch of like an element of YSL hiding down underneath. Faint, but I do pick it up a little bit. If you like things like that, more so the first three, you're probably going to thoroughly enjoy this one. I think it's an 8.75 out of 10. That's why I said great, bordering the outstanding. Because anybody familiar with my rating scale, 9 puts you in that outstanding category, 8 to 8.75 being great. So I think that's a phenomenal rating and spot for this fragrance, which is phenomenal. I do think this is going to be a hit for them. I very much do. Absolutely worth sampling. And yeah, if you like powdery, you should try this. Well, that's my thoughts and feelings on the new Gisada Titanium. Once again, Gisada, thank you so much for sending this my way. I was pretty thrilled when they reached out to see if I was interested because, yeah, very much so. Because big fan of Ambassador, like I said before. Of course, I wanted to try whatever their newest offering was going to be, especially when I saw the bottle, because I hadn't seen the notes yet. I stayed pretty blind to the notes until I smelled it the first time. Then I cross-referenced with the notes. But this bottle alone, don't get me wrong, fingerprint magnet, but man, it's beautiful. That chrome metallic mirrored finish looks really good. They definitely have a really good presentation with some really good juice inside. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on Gisada Titanium and you give it a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.